The Leader of the Opposition is urging the Prime Minister to recall Parliament for an emergency session. Andrew Scheer says MPs need to ratify the TPP right now. That's the Comprehensive and Progressive Trans-Pacific Partnership. Andrew Scheer joins us now from our Edmonton studio. Andrew, it is the middle of the summer. Why does this ratification have to happen right now?
Well, Canada signed on to this deal after Justin Trudeau delayed it for some time back in the spring. They only introduced it into Parliament in the very last hours of the parliamentary session. With all the uncertainty around NAFTA and other trade disruptions that's going on, including the tariffs on steel and aluminum, we believe it's very important that Canada be among the first of the countries to ratify this deal so that we can take advantage of it. And waiting till the fall, where you're in a general session with lots of other things being debated, we don't know when that might actually get ratified and implemented. So that's why we're calling on the Prime Minister to show he's serious about this, recall Parliament so that members of Parliament can pass this and implement it.
Andrew, is there an actual risk of missing out on the TPP, though? Because I think of, only Mexico and Japan have ratified. You need at least 6 countries to do that. So we're not really that far behind when you think of the 11 at play.
Well, Singapore has just recently ratified as well, and there's a key benefit in being among the first to ratify. Instantly, for example, our agricultural producers could take advantage of open markets in those other countries that have ratified. So there are practical benefits to being among the first. It would also send that very strong signal to the Canadian economy that this is something that is serious. The delay, the fact that this was signed onto by the government in March and literally nothing done in the House of Commons till the very last days of Parliament, and only after Conservatives started urging the government to do something about it, that sent a sign of not being serious on this file to Canadian investors and Canadian exporters. So we believe that this is very important. We don't want to miss out. We don't want to be among the last to ratify this. So we're urging the Prime Minister to let's all take a break from the summer, come back to Ottawa, get this passed so that we can restore some confidence in the Canadian economy.
On Trudeau's team, of course, is Jim Carr, the new Minister of International Trade Diversification. This is under his portfolio, Andrew. Is he the right man for the job here?
Well, we saw how he handled the energy file and the fact that he couldn't get pipelines built. He had to nationalize Trans Mountain before, they could even begin to talk about proceeding with it. So he doesn't have a stellar track record on getting things done in natural resources, and now he's been put into a very important file. He said today that he tried to assure people. He said his office said that the foot was on the gas pedal with TPP, but unfortunately the car is stuck in neutral. So it doesn't matter how hard he presses on the gas. If we're not actually moving forward, we're not going to go anywhere. That's why we're calling on the government to recall Parliament. When you look at the cabinet shuffle, Jim Carr has gone from a file where he wasn't able to get anything done into trade. The Minister of Infrastructure, who was not able to get infrastructure projects out the door, Mr. Sohi, he was not able to get things done, and now he's moved on to the natural resources file. So there's been a bit of a swap of ministers that haven't been able to get things done in the past. So we don't have a lot of confidence that they're going to be able to get anything done in the future.
All right, going back to the TPP, Canada needs all parties to sign off on it. Conservatives support it, Liberals support it, but the NDP do not. So, what are you going to do if the NDP doesn't come on board here?
Well, we don't actually need all-party consensus. In order to get it done, very, very quickly, yes, you would need unanimous consent. But with the opposition, the official opposition, working with the government, there are procedural tactics. As a former speaker, I'm aware of some of the tools that the government has in their toolkit to pass a timetabling motion or to set out parameters for the length of debate that we would be very supportive of if it meant getting this deal implemented. So the Liberals can't hide behind the fact that one party doesn't support this as a reason for not taking action on it. If they're serious about it, if they actually wanted to press the reset button on their failed trade record, then they would agree to this request. We could all get back and we could get this into the hands of the Senate very quickly and then hopefully get it implemented before the fall. As it stands right now, there are big question marks as to when that might happen. Could it be early fall, late fall? We don't want to see ourselves going into the Christmas break with this not implemented. So that's why we think there's no better time than the present. Let's get this done right now.
Andrew, I want to quickly ask you about Canada's premiers. They're talking of reaching out to grassroots American leaders to influence the U.S. on trade. What are your thoughts on that strategy?
I've always felt that this was the key to preserving what Canada has under NAFTA. Over a year ago, Conservatives were calling on the government to find more allies throughout the United States. Just concentrating on talking to officials in Washington is only part of it. You need lots of voices around the United States putting pressure on the Trump administration and on their congressional representatives. The more voices there are in the U.S. fighting for Canada's interests, the more likely that we'll have a good deal at the table. So anything that involves more Canadians talking to American counterparts, whether it's business owners, whether it's people involved in an integrated supply chain like the auto sector, or if it's representatives at the state level. There are a lot of state governors that understand how important NAFTA is for their state, just as important as it is to Canada. So I think anytime Canadians are talking to Americans, selling Canada, selling free trade, it's a good thing.
All right, Andrew Scheer, Conservative Party and official opposition leader, thank you for taking time for us today.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.